Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, Mysterious Voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I found in my travels. Today, I don't want to talk about a specific book that I've read, but rather I want to do the usual wrap-up and TBR for the month of November and the month of December. In terms of November, there were a lot of fun reads, certainly maybe stuff with more substance than in October, but not to say I didn't enjoy October. Although I will say that the short stories for the month of November were kind of lacking. Hopefully I'll find some more and more quality short stories in the next couple of months. But yeah, we're nearing the end of the year if you follow the human concept of time and whatnot. As per usual, I will take a miniature break near the end of December. I'm going to be on break from work, and I'd much rather enjoy that, try to do different things and not focus so much on reading. But of course, I will be back at the beginning of January with more interesting books and hopefully some high quality reads like those that I've been reading throughout this year so far. And of course, I'll have my year-end list in the month of December as well. There is the year-end list where I pick the 10 best books that I've read. It's going to be a hard year here because there were quite a lot of very good books, it's going to be hard to pick just 10 of them. But if I want to, I feel like it's important to hone in and highlight the very best of what I've been reading. And then there's also the TBR for the month or for the year of 2024. In 2023, I managed to get through quite a few books, but I don't think I've read everything. I think there was 2 books that I didn't manage to get through. Hopefully, 2024 is similar quality, and I look forward to whatever comes my way through that. But without further ado, let's talk about the wrap up and the TBR. Of course, I'll do the wrap up first, followed by the TBR. So what did I read in November? In terms of books, I read a number of high-quality books. I also watched a movie with Lucas, or discussed a movie with Lucas for the month of November, and that was The Battle of Algiers by Giallo Pontecorvo, which was really high quality. Definitely recommend it to you out there. You can find it on HBO Max or probably on YouTube as well, so I recommend that one. But in terms of books, I read My Sister the Serial Killer by Oinkan Braithwaite, which I thought was excellent. Probably the best of the month in terms of quality and the story that Braithwaite was trying to tell about the patriarchy in Nigeria and making it difficult for women and forcing them to lash out in violence in order to protect themselves. Among other things, talking about that. So I recommend that. I also read Spy Family, Volume 3, which I thought was fun. Captain America, Red Menace, which was super boring. I thought Winter Soldier had a lot of potential that it couldn't live up to, but Red Menace has no potential. It doesn't even try to do anything. And all of a sudden, the Winter Soldier is a good guy. I don't really understand that. I don't really get the point of the Winter Soldier, especially when he's allied with good so suddenly. It feels like there was no struggle, no urgency, no emotional moment to get him to sort of be on Captain America's side. Didn't really feel earned there, and so not really looking good for the Death of Captain America arc, unfortunately. I also read Notes of a Dirty Old Man by Charles Bukowski. I ended up finding that at a bookstore in San Francisco, and I thought it was good. It was a lot of fun to read. Not really a lot worth discussing in the book that I wanted to make a video about, so I just didn't talk about it. But I do recommend it if you're interested in Charles Bukowski. I also read Under Nushagak Bluff by Mia Heavener. That was the book club read that I read for my friend Bevan's book club. And I thought it was really good and also incredibly sad, which if you're familiar with my channel, you know that melancholy is kind of my thing, the thing that really grabs my attention from any book. And it might not even really be the melancholy. It might just be a book that can latch onto any emotion. And it's just the melancholy that everyone is noticing, especially Bevan. And I really liked what the story had to say about the loss of culture and seeing your hometown become greatly changed into something unrecognizable. Definitely recommend you check out this book. And then I also read Volume 7 of Berserk. The Berserk series has been a lot of fun to explore this year, and I look forward to reading more in 2024 with Berserk, so be on the lookout for that. I also read a number of short stories for November, including The Jesus Donut, which I thought was fine, The Green Door by O. Henry, which is probably the best short story that I read in November. An interesting twist to the story, as is tradition with O. Henry stories, mixed with just a message of kindness and goodwill towards others, which I can get behind. And then I also read A Woman and a Burglar, which again I thought the story was fine, not really a lot to it. And then Why He Carried the Turkey by James Baldwin, not the James Baldwin that you're thinking, which I thought was bad. It attempts to mythologize a figure who didn't really deserve to be mythologized, kind of painting a Supreme Court justice as a good person, when in fact he was a slaveholder and a terrible human being. So probably not worth reading that short story there. And then I read a number of poems for the month of November, mostly by Palestinian authors. So go check out my Poetry Thursday videos for that. But something worth mentioning is that I did talk about Musab Abu Toha in one of my videos for Poetry Thursday. And a week or so ago, there was a news story that came out that he had been detained by the IDF as he was driving through Palestine. And it's even said that he was beaten, which I don't know how much truth there is to that, but it is notable because Mossab Abu Toha is critical of the Israeli government, and for them to just stop his car, detain his family before letting him go on and presumably beating him, it really shows that the Palestinian people have no one really sticking up for them. It is quite unfortunate, and it shows the abuse of authority that the Israeli government has in this type of situation. What do I plan on reading for the month of December? Kind of a weird transition from talking about abuse of power to reading for December, but bear with me for a moment. In terms of books, I am currently reading Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. If you've been following my exploration of the Knights Radiant Stormlight Archive series, you know that I have a few problems with his writing, and that those problems exist in Oathbringer, but it is still a pretty interesting series, and the third book is a lot better than the second, but still quite a few problems. So be on the lookout for that whenever I finish that. It takes at least 2 weeks to get through these kinds of books. Also, I want to read The Schopenhauer Cure, which is a book that was recommended to me by Bevan. It's like one of those rare out of book club recommendations, so I think it should be pretty high quality. And then Independence by Shitra Divakaruni, which is a book club read. Bevan and I were going to pick a kind of chill read for December, but it seems she picked something that's probably going to go hard. So check it out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you do end up knowing something about this book, because I'm not really familiar with this author or too much about the history of what it's talking about, which is India and Pakistan and their separate sort of identities after India gained its independence. I also plan on reading some stuff that I found from my library, of course. And then there's another movie that I'm checking out with Lucas. It's Il Gran Silenzio, which is an Italian spaghetti western. A lot of good things that I've heard initially about it so far, based on my perusal of IMDb and also Wikipedia. I've never heard of it before, but the spaghetti westerns usually haven't steered me wrong, despite their sometimes historically inaccurate nature and whatnot. But be on the lookout for that, and then a number of short stories that I have planned, including Willa Cather's A Burglar's Christmas, which I haven't read Willa Cather before, so I'm looking forward to that, and others that I found from my library and in other sources. And then I also have a number of poems that I have planned for the month of December. I'm hoping that they're all winter kind of themed. I've run out of poems that I can read for holidays like Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, because there doesn't seem to be a lot of poems in that regard. Just basically what I found in the previous 2 years. But there should be a lot more poems that are December or at least winter themed, which will give us something thematic to talk about in this final month of the year. Anyway, so those are my thoughts on my wrap up for November and my TBR for the month of December. I support some pretty high quality books to look forward to and that I've read already. If you have any recommendations for me, or you simply want to comment on something that I've read, do so below. Would love to hear from you, especially to get those recommendations for stories that I might not have checked out before. But other than that, if you have anything else to say, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more people can find out about this channel or any of the books that I'm talking about. Or until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and December-y travels.